Hello, my wild walkers, and welcome back to the world of Ayara. Last we left off, Omenda and Ophalon, in a night's sleep, had a shared dream experience where the two of them met with the enigmatic, self-described cunt that is Nil, the leader of the Court of Whispers, who you all have been tracking on behalf of King Math of Dinas Undad. She approached the two of you with what seemed to be mostly benevolent intent. At least she wasn't actively trying to harm you. Much to the suspicion of our two friends. But a conversation was had. Nil informed the two of you that the object you all were coming after was a scroll, which you did know of. However, a bit more information was given to let you know that it wasn't just a simple spell scroll. No, this was a scroll that harnessed old magic from the beginning of the world. Magic that, according to Nil, no mortal would ever be able to cast without the help of that scroll. The only people that could would be the gods themselves. Nil further explained to you all that she did not intend to use the scroll. She intended to keep it safe. And the very fact that she was able to walk into Dinas Undad and take it so easily proved that the faith placed in King Mathenwe by Angus of the Forest Realm was flawed. She also invited the two of you to come and see the things that she fights for. Under penalty of death, through an unbreakable vow known as a gesh, she asked that you come just yourselves to a little inn in Aphanaith. Ask for Grip, and he would ensure your safe arrival. The provisions of this gesh were as follows. Neither Omenda nor Ophalon will be harmed if they come in good faith. A proviso added by Ophalon was that Nil could not speak a lie directly to him until the gesh was at its completion, to which she agreed. Ophalon also added another proviso that was more like a promise. That was if any of this was designed to fuck over he and his friend, he would be taking her head for sport. The two of you awoke in the cold mountains, the Gelar Mountains, as you are making your crossing. And as you all were preparing to leave, Ophalon, after taking the world's longest piss, did in fact reveal everything to his companions. So everybody is currently in the loop about this, eliciting a response from Omenda quietly to himself later to remind him never to ask Ophalon to keep a secret for him. But
that depends on the secret.
The weather was
He's never going to keep it.
You guys set off once again. More conversations were had. And you set off through the trees, expecting to get through this forested piece by about the end of that day. Have another day of climbing, and then hopefully by the third or fourth day, be able to begin your descent down the other side of the mountain. You're still looking at, with no distractions, close to 5 to 6 days to reaching Aphaniath. Some conversation was had about possibly taking an alternate route up through the ruins of Keru, the lost and abandoned citadel of the Frost Giants. And as Ophalon made his way up to Lady Rhiannon at the front of the party, to explain this, she said it was a possible route. They just need to prepare some sort of an offering for Donatus, should they want to travel through that place. However, there were signs of a struggle, and as they looked, Ophalon and Rhiannon found a mutilated corpse, ripped apart, smashed, and bloody. And Rhiannon, slightly pale in the face, looked back to you, Ophalon, and said, "Right, well, there are Yetis about. We should get back to the group." And that's where we left off. As Ophalon and Rhiannon are returning towards the cart, you and you're up front, guiding as usual, and you see that those two riding up, and Lady Rhiannon says, there are Yeti about. We need to be a bit more, perhaps, quiet as we're traveling through here. And she looks at you, Ewan, and she says, I think maybe only another hour or so, and then we should probably start setting up camp.
All right. That doesn't seem like much time for the Yetis. That's not much distance.
I just mean I don't want to travel too far into night while there are Yetis about.
Oh, meaning that the Yetis are more of a night type creature?
I mean, the Yetis can kind of be at any time, but I certainly don't want to have to deal with them in the dark.
That's fair. Do I know anything about Yetis?
You? No. You've been out on the ocean.
Do I know anything about Yetis?
You can roll, Ewan, but you're at disadvantage. Ira, you can take a roll.
Roll it.
Do I know anything about Yeti?
You may also roll.
just tell us who else doesn't get to roll, Kyle. I think everybody wants to roll.
What about Juniper?
What am I rolling?
Yeah, what are we rolling?
It would be a nature check. Yetis.
Everybody but me.
Tarnished 20.
15.
Does Juniper get to roll, Kyle?
You don't need to. Somebody rolled a tarnished 20. You're fine. There is, I mean, Kyra, you've grown up in mountains. I don't know if you've ever specifically dealt with Yetis, but you've heard about them. They are thought to be kind of distant relatives of giant kin, though they are closer in size to trolls than anything else. They are quite large, they are furred, they live in the cold, and they are extraordinarily territorial. The rumors, and they are just rumors because there's no there's not really anybody to verify it with anymore. The rumors are that they are kind of like the lesser cousins of Frost Giant, and would have served at one point in their history a similar role in the hierarchy as Cyclopses do to Cloud Giants. They're not part of like the higher order of giants, but they're like the next order down.
From under the sheets, Kyra has at some point put all of her gear back on. None of you guys noticed her moving around or anything, and just kind of like stretches out. Well, best situation would be either to build camp relatively close by, or how much daylight do we have left, God?
Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, better to just make camp. I agree. You agree with Reed?
Is that my nickname, then?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Lady Rhiannon.
Well, if we're making camp, I guess that's a good enough idea. Who's gonna be keeping watch for these Yetis?
Well, I've been asleep for like a while.
I've always wanted to fight a Yeti.
Hey, but you still look real tired, don't you? Right? Jesus in the sky?
I shouldn't anymore, right?
You
Yeah,
slept
today's
through
ended.
the majority of the day today. You should be fine.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was 1 or 2 levels of exhaustion that
It
she
was
got.
2.
She had
Um,
2, but
was
she
asleep.
she slept for 16 hours.
And
Right.
I did it deliberately.
And is
Yeah, cool.
incredibly lucky that I rolled bad on random encounters.
Alright, cool. Well, yeah, but Steven.
You will not always be able to circumvent my exhaustion.
If those 2 levels of exhaustion were from the apple.
They
Yeah.
They were fake levels of exhaustion. If they were real levels
Fake.
of exhaustion, I would have treated them with the respect they deserved.
Not
Oh, great
fake at all.
Scald.
You had 2 levels of exhaustion. That apple fucked you up.
It sounds like
It's not
fake
like it
news,
made you
I'm just
think you
saying.
were tired.
Yeah. That apple just screwed you over.
The apple of mental
No
physical
other version of
fatigue.
that.
The apple of trauma.
Yes. Ewan and Kyra, you both speak your piece, and Lady Rhiannon nods and says, I will help keep watch as well. I know these mountains a little bit better." And she looks at you, Ewan, and nods and says, "Between the two of us, only needing about 4 hours, and Miss Kyra being well rested, I think we'll have good eyes about us for the night." She kind of looks at all of you and she says, "Ophalon informed me that you all were interested in taking an alternate route through the ruins of Keru, which I am not entirely against. However, perhaps in the morning we go and, well, the Yeti tracks seem to peter out in that direction, so just a forewarning. That's something that we might have to deal with, so..."
In the direction of what again? I assume the ruins?
The ruins, yes.
Can we tell how many there might be?
With the snows and stuff, it's hard. That corpse has been there for a couple of days at least. It's been snowed on top of.
Wait, I don't remember y'all mentioning a corpse. There was a corpse up ahead?
Oh, there was a rather badly destroyed little halfling over there, yes.
And then Amanda looks down like, oh, Jesus. That was the actual stutter.
In character.
Realign
Maybe we should
yourself.
make camp. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh God. Sorry.
Omenda's scared.
Have you seen those memes where it's when your friend hears you stutter and they just like deck them?
Yeah.
My brain probably would have if somebody was sitting next to me, that probably would have pushed him and be like,
Yeah.
put that in.
Terrible.
Oh, God, that's been happening a lot the last couple of days. Oh,
It's from stress.
yeah.
Any hoozle.
Yeah, Amanda wants to make camp.
She just nods. She says, "Right, let's go a little bit further, maybe about another hour of travel, and then we'll get away from this little area, and we'll set something up."
See,
And as you guys continue for that extra hour, I need a volunteer to roll me 1d4.
I'll do it.
Travis will do it. Ooh, look at the fancy d4. It's a little
3.
Wow. 3. As you are traveling this last part of the day, and the trees are beginning to thin, you are can see now in front of you the kind of ice and rock wall that you are all going to begin to have to climb once again, or find a pass to get through the last ascent before you're actually at the top of the mountains. And as this comes into view and you lose the shelter of the tree line, you start to feel a biting, cold wind coming in from the south. It is summer, so this wind is not nearly as bad as it could be, but you are on the top of a mountain. These high winds are going to be detrimental to anybody trying to make ranged attack while they persist.
What is it? Like, what'd you say? Like a snowstorm, something?
It's just wind.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like there aren't even any clouds. The sky is still clear. It's just wind.
Oh, okay. I was reading the Ildru and I missed it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Amanda just hikes up his collar, tightens up his thing, and from underneath the fur blankets that Kyra was sleeping in, the Ildrune just like goes into the air, because it's like I say like this one I can't like teleport into my person. It like just goes into the air, goes into my pocket.
Absolutely. Eventually, you come to a spot, not quite at the base of this rock and ice wall, but a little ways from that, there's like a small rocky outcropping that it would be very easy to get you all settled in, to set the cart up as a windbreak and have a little camp in a divot. And you guys set about getting things ready for a night of sleep. Food is eaten. The evening comes to a close. People begin to drift off. Lady Rhiannon and Ewan both need their 4 hours. Kyra, you're technically good to stay up all night, but that will leave you needing to sleep through the next day.
Okay.
So, or risk taking exhaustion.
Would cause I was thinking that we could do, for tonight, since the Yetis are in the area, we could have 2 people stay up for the first watch. I would say like me, maybe, and Kyra, because Kyra was already good at planning on staying up. Kyra could also catch some Z's, do like a little off-on scenario.
I can stay awake, or that doesn't matter.
Okay. Whoever is taking first watch. Kyra and Omenda. as Rhiannon and Ewan get there 4 hours out of the way, early as possible. Kyra and Omenda, it's you guys. Go ahead and make perception checks for me.
See. Perception.
24.
24.
I'm gonna use my big one.
Oh, thick boy.
Got
Hell yeah. It's so
big new dice.
Chungus.
25.
And I actually get to describe this now. I'm so excited. Obenda. As it gets darker, you see Kyra's eyes almost look like they are starting to glow as the night gets further down. But not like glowing like moon glow, like almost like an animal's, like the reflective glow.
Yeah.
That animals have. It's kind of freaky.
Like a cat? Like a big cat?
Very much so, yes.
You don't see that quite often. What's all that?
What?
Do you not know this? As Amanda pulls out his flask and he goes holds it up to her face.
Is it a carnival flask? Does it juxtapose the image upside down? What? Whoa. Whoa, that's really weird. How long have they do not? Do you know how long they've been doing that? I know they light on fire. Ewan told me they light on fire sometimes.
I've never seen it. You've always been on a watch on your own, so this is the first I'm seeing of it.
Well, good to know. Neat. Probably something to do with someone somewhere. I don't know.
Well, you are a hunter, so I guess it'll help. You can see in the dark, can't you?
Really, really good. Way better at night than I can in the daytime.
Amanda just complains under his breath. Oh, they can't even fucking see in the dark.
As the two of you are, having a conversation, keeping watch, I think both of you around the same time. It's not a sound. You can't hope to hear anything with the wind kind of whistling about.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing super close by that you see moving around, but down the cliffs a ways, maybe to the east, along the mountains, every now and then you think you see like a slight flicker of light, almost maybe like a campfire. It's quite a ways away, and if it was snowing or anything tonight, there's no chance you would have seen it. But there is you can see every once in a while this reflection, flickering of firelight along the cliffs, and in the dark, even with Kyra's excellent night vision, it's impossible really to tell how far it is away, but it is at the edge of what you can see from here.
So about that, I have navigator's tools. Is it possible to reason that I would have a spyglass in there?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I would be like, well, you see that over there too, don't you?
Yeah. Probably.
Why am I fucking
probably just
Sanford and Son?
A trick of the light.
Well,
don't ever trust things that you see in the mountains.
Well, I can't see in the dark or nothing, but you can. Maybe you can see better with this. As he kind of goes his spyglass.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Make active perception with advantage, Kyra.
I guess it's not a spyglass. I guess it's more like a scope.
27.
27. You take this little spyglass out and begin looking. And at first, when you're looking through a telescope or a spyglass, the first thing that you have to figure out is, oh, where is the thing I was looking at? Because it's so small, and now everything is in a much bigger frame. So you're looking around, and then you catch sight of it, and you turn down and look. Even with the spyglass, this is clear. The most you're able to make out, this is clearly a fire, like a campfire or something. It's not entirely unlike what you guys have set up for your own camp.
Mm-hmm.
But you are just seeing the glow, the reflection of it flickering. It is a ways off. But from what Rhiannon said, that is the direction towards the ruins that you will have to be heading in the next day.
That at least tells us that there's something down there. That looks like where we're headed.
Yeah, well, whether they're good or bad, I think we'll be able to take them as one of his little blade.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Back to it as he plops his frog ass back in his bucket.
See,
Whoosh.
Got a little opal down in the bottom of it to keep it from freezing.
Mm-hmm.
it's a hot tub pot
It is
now.
a hot tub, yeah. Something smells like frog's legs.
There's like chicken cooking up in these mountains.
But he is like, that's good.
Whose turn is it next? Oh, I guess Rhiannon and Ewan would wake up.
Yeah. After those first 4 hours, Rhiannon and Ewan are awake. Omenda heads to sleep. Kyra, you are welcome to stay up, should you wish.
I think I'll continue to stay awake.
Okay. As the three of you, Rhiannon kind of comes out of her trance around the same time as Ewan, and quite briskly stands up and checks around, and then looks at you, Kyra, and says, "Anything to report?"
There's a fire in the ruins, like a campfire, but I don't think they'll be bothering us, but at least tells us there's something there when we get there.
See, she nods. She says, "All right. If you all can keep an eye on things around here, I'm going to, I'm going to go do what I do. I'll be back in about maybe 20 minutes, and she will stalk off."
Elves are weird.
And as Rhiannon disappears into the darkness, Ewan and Kyra. That leaves the two of you. Go ahead and both of you make for me perception checks.
17.
26. Sorry, was I facing too far away? 26.
Oh, no.
For mine.
17 and a 26. The wind is howling. It is cold, but you guys are in a good little divot protected from the wind best you can be. Juniper, Ophalon, and Omenda sleeping soundly nearby. But you don't see or hear anything for a while. Lady Rhiannon does eventually reappear about 20 minutes later, coming around the side of the cart. pulls some furs around her and sits down and just kind of quietly says, I don't know if that fire... Yetis don't tend to make fires. They don't need them. So whoever that is up there, hopefully they're not inviting more trouble down upon themselves, but I scouted out a bit, and all signs point to the Yeti having come from that direction at the very least. No definitive evidence they went back that way, but that's the direction they certainly came from. So, we'll need to be on our guard. At this point, there are other passes we could try to take through the mountains, but honestly, the ruins are closer at this point, and frankly, I'm ready to not be in the mountains anymore.
I'm gonna punch a Yeti in the nose.
I admire your spirit.
I
think it'll be fine. We'll get through it. It'll be done. Wasting too many extra moments on stressing about it is just gonna make things worse.
True. Ewan continues to dance in the background.
Punch a Yeti in the nose. I'm gonna punch a Yeti in the nose. The winds tell me any secrets as we sit and wait in silence.
No secrets to be told from the wind tonight, except that it's cold as balls. So cold.
Let's go. Let's go.
But the rest of the night goes by unimpeded. Two elves and the half elf remaining up for the rest of the night, keeping an eye on things. There is no disturbance. There is no sign of anything encroaching upon your camp. In terms of wildlife, the only things you see are there's an owl at one point that flies and through the wind with difficulty and ends up sheltering in the first tree that it can find at the edge of everything. And then there is also at one point a very young, like mountain goat that is like kind of in the distance that just scrambles up the rocky face of the mountain out of your guys' sight. But other than that, the night goes unimpeded. As the light of the sun begins to reappear, the wind continuing to howl. I would ask for somebody to roll a D100 for me.
I don't do it. 69.
Nice. Even with the wind continuing, there are still no clouds to be seen. So as the sun rises, the temperature does begin to increase a bit from the summer sun. It's still cold, but there's no clouds keeping it all socked in here at the top of the mountains. And all of you begin to wake up once again. Juniper, as you are waking up, you see kind of snuggled next to you is your new familiar Pumpkin, who is just kind of curled up in as tight of a ball as he possibly can as you're waking up. But go ahead and make a perception check for me as you wake up.
This is a 5, God.
A 5? That's just fine. You notice as you're waking up and you're getting ready to move, as you see Pumpkin like uncurl himself and start to give a little stretch. There's something. He has a not a collar per se, but he does have a little something tied about his neck, and you see there is a piece of parchment tied there.
Juniper grabs the parch.
Yeah, you grab the parchment off.
Where did
It's
you get
literally
this?
it's just tied on there with basically a piece of twine. You say, "How did you get this?" And Pumpkin just looks up at you with big green eyes and just goes,
But
"What?"
Cannot hear
I
what
didn't-
you're saying.
I did not hear a word
Goes
you
what?
just said.
The cat
She goes,
looks
"What?"
up at you and meows.
Okay. She gives Pumpkin scritches and opens the parchment. What does it say?
In a very fine but sharp script, it says, "Stay warm," and there is a rune inscribed at the end of the parchment.
Does Juniper know what the rune is?
Make an intelligence check.
Just a straight in chat in. Okay. That's a 12.
Cool. This is not a rune of the giants. This is a rune of. This is a Sylvan rune. This is a rune of the Fae. It is. You're not sure what it is, but your eyes are trained to kind of hone in on magic, and you see a small flicker of magic about this rune on this piece of parchment.
And I do the identify. Juniper flags down Kyra, who I'm assuming is nearby. I need a minute to identify something. There is a note tied to around Pumpkin's neck.
Okay.
That's weird.
Here's Pumpkin again.
You're
I thought your animal, parted with us. Sorry.
I got a new one.
Oh yeah, my bad. Whatever. Okay. What's his name again?
Pumpkin.
Ah,
Because he's bright orange. Literally holds him up.
Amanda's like,
Yeah. Juniper casts Identify on the rune.
The identify spell tells you that this is the rune Te, which means warmth in Sylvan. The spelling of that is Te. He It's a very simple rune. But yeah, it just means warmth. The identify spell also informs you that the magic you see surrounding this is it is abjuration magic.
Can I reuse the rune?
I mean, it's just inscribed onto a piece of paper. So you'd have to figure out how to use it from the piece of paper.
So the paper itself isn't like a spell scroll.
No. It's a little scrap of parchment.
Well, what does it say?
It's Sylvan rune for warmth. Okay. She looks at Rhiannon. Do you know how to activate a rune like this, Lady Rhiannon?
She looks at it. She says, "I'm not exactly a magic-y type. I mean, if you've got some natural magic of your own, you could just try channeling it. I don't know. I'm not more of a kind of person."
Juniper literally traces her finger along it, trying to do something.
Make an Arcana check.
My dice need to go to dice jail today. That's a 7.
7. You can add add your charisma because that's your spell casting.
Can I also bardic inspire this?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, I will. Bam. There you go.
Oh, how much is the bardic inspiration?
1d6.
Okay. That gave me a 5. So what do I add? My modifier?
Your charisma modifier, yes.
My charisma. Okay. So that's 7 plus 5, 12, 17.
17. As you run your finger along it, you feel the rune activate under your thumb, and the parchment burns into fire, and you watch as 2 little ermines made of fire erupt into being next, like, in your hands, basically, and they're not burning you, they're pleasantly warm, and they, like, sit up and they look at you, these little ermines, these little stoats, and they kind of, like, look at you with their little cheeks, and then they become more real. So now they are white furred, little black noses, and they are both kind of looking up at you, and then they jump down and they start to chase each other in like a little Ouroboros style pattern before they come together and stop and shrink, and sat on the ground in front of you, Juniper, is a ring. There is a wooden ring. There is carved ermines on the top of it that are wrapped around each other. And interestingly, kind of in weird difference to the ring you currently wear, which has thorns on the inside, this one has very soft fur lining where it would go on your finger.
Pretty different.
Juniper picks it up,
Right.
but does not put it on.
show you in the lore chat.
Well, that was pretty, I guess. That was kind of cool, actually. How come you didn't put it on?
Put it on your finger.
Yeah, put it on.
Come
Yeah,
lean.
put it on.
Aw, that's cute.
Oh, don't make me sing you a song.
Want to. Very, very curious as to what this does. I don't want to piss off my patron.
Got 2 ring fingers.
It was
Well,
on.
yeah, 10 of them.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you've got 10 ring fingers. That you can put rings on all your fingers.
Oh, Amanda holding up his hand with random rings on most of them. Like, yeah, of no worth.
Does anyone want some breakfast raspberries?
Actually, I'll take give me some of them raspberries.
I would love some raspberries. I will
Ian's
trade
gonna
you some
cast-
jerky.
Oh,
God
fantastic.
damn it.
Ian's gonna cast Goodberry.
Juniper, I will say, this note
They
was
grow out of his
tied
fingers.
to your
Yeah,
finger.
yeah. That's literally what's whirring in her head right now. You know what? Fuck it. And she puts it on her other ring finger.
That's a spirit.
Hey!
Juniper, the all sense of being cold immediately vanishes from your body. You are pleasantly warm.
Oh, warm.
See, it wasn't so bad, was it? Sometimes you just gotta have a little faith, as they say. Why am I like from the south, but like not the cool parts?
Oh God.
I mean,
Anyway, Goodberry feeds you for a day.
the Juniper literally waggles her first ring. Literally the first ring that I was given by anybody. I can't take it off.
Well, that
Doesn't
sounds a
hurt
bit abusive, don't you think?
Doesn't hurt
Well,
anymore, but it did.
That's not normal. I can totally take my ring off.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that before. Have you tried taking it off, even if it hurt? See what would happen?
Yes, I have tried taking it off. I can
What
spin
about
it.
cutting it off?
Does not come off. Not
Do you
cutting
need
it
that
off.
finger?
Not
Sure.
cutting it off, Amanda. Thank
What
you.
if you were asleep and you woke up without one? Didn't feel nothing. Didn't feel nothing.
I would immediately blame you. Leave my ring
But-
and fingers alone.
How would you feel afterwards?
I would be mad.
But free? No, I'm kidding.
I just want to state that I'm keeping one of these Goodberries for myself, like an extra one, just in my pocket.
Juniper has some raspberries. Give some to the pumpkin.
Good, Betty.
These berries are pretty good.
Thank you. They're made from my flesh. No,
Well-
I'm just playing with you.
I couldn't tell you I was gonna eat you. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Oh, mine.
Yes. Your looks of derision feed me, Kyle.
Oh,
I just got the joke that he made. Hey.
Anyway, Kyra, can I have? You said I could have like a little sprig of your mistletoe. Have you asked your?
We haven't gotten to like a graveyard for me to ask if I can.
Oh, well, maybe there'll just be some up here. It's cold as shit.
what if we're just like, you know,
I mean,
ruins of bodies? Kind of a graveyard.
I should have grabbed one from the grove. There's mistletoe there.
maybe Kyra takes her bow and then goes to the other side of the cart, and then like places the bow in the ground, and like pushes the snow and stuff up close to it. Be like, would I have some mistletoe, please? If you're there.
Yeah, I don't think you get any kind of response.
No, I didn't think
right
so.
Now. Yeah.
What was the point? I think I actually have good berry. My good berry looks like mistletoe, right?
I don't know.
Oh no, I think it looks like snowberries.
It looks like whatever you want it to be at this point.
Yeah.
True.
I'll be like,
Well, I do need it to be
logically,
like
if you're
semi-permanent.
wanting something that fits the whole theme that you've got, like holly would make sense. But
It
I
needs
don't
to be
know if-
semi-permanent.
I don't think you can eat holly berries. I think they're quite poisonous. So
Gotcha. No, it's all good. I am unable. We can look though. I can try and find some.
Can I just grow a bit extra off your bow? I bet I could do it. Is that offensive?
I don't know.
Ewan, do you have druidcraft?
Aye.
You can make mistletoe.
Well, I wasn't trying to just.
lol.
The roleplay was more interesting.
It's very interesting. I'm just letting you know. You definitely can make it.
Darn, that's unfortunate. And I'm gonna go to the spot that Kyra stuck the the bow into,
Yeah.
and just stick my finger into it, and pull some mistletoe up out.
Yeah. A cluster of kind of greenish white parasitic plant comes up with a little collection of white berries on it.
Acidic.
So it was very parasitic.
I know. I like the
And I'm gonna take a clipping of it.
definition.
Kyra,
Hmm?
can I ask you a question? Are you awake enough?
You are currently asking me a question. I am responding.
Hmm.
That's a spirit.
About what happened with the fight with Nil, specifically.
I don't want to talk about it.
Not that particularly. When you guys went into the lake, you didn't want me to go. Would it make you feel better if I promised to not intentionally put myself in harm's way? Because, and I'm telling you this because I know that I can trust you with this, when I make a promise, if I break it, I get physically sick.
I'm not going to use that against you.
But it would make you feel better knowing that I was safe.
No, it wasn't. I can't. I can't. Nor could you prevent things from happening.
I mean, what I'm saying is I would promise not to intentionally walk into doing something very stupid.
I want you to not do that for the sake of you not wanting to die. Period. Is what I would prefer.
We are on an island where literally anything could kill us at any time.
You know what I mean.
Fair.
You are not... It's not... It's not just the fact that you died.
I know.
No, you don't. Because you don't want me to feel it. You don't want me to get angry. None of you want me to get agitated about it. I'm the only one who watched you choke to death on your own fucking blood!
Blood.
Never said I didn't want
blood,
you.
blood.
I never said I didn't want you to feel anything. You're
Only
allowed
the
to
turns.
feel what you feel.
I think we should get going.
I agree.
You be quiet. You.
Going to get into the...
You be quiet.
Point at
Amanda
Kyra.
throws
You.
a hearty snowball.
You have
at his
every
mouth.
right to be mad. We all do. I, for one, don't think you should bottle any of this shit up. It's not healthy for you. Why do you think I shout half the time?
Because you're an idiot.
I take great offense to that.
Amanda's like,
Do you all think I'm dumb?
well, stupid and dumb are different.
I think you're naive.
Naive's not the same as stupidity.
I was taking a low jab.
But take all the low jabs you want. My abs are pretty strong. But that's neither here nor there.
Amanda.
You might have been the one present, but I'm just as upset about all this, and I promise that I'm going to do everything in my power to see justice done. Nil doesn't get to just walk in, murder one of us, and then convince us that they're in the right and all this shit. No. That's not how this works.
Trust me. We gonna gut this bitch from the rooter to the tutor. I'll tell you that. I just wanted to say rooter
What
to
the
the
fuck
tutor.
does that mean?
I just wanted to say rooter to the tutor so bad.
Jesus
Any of
Christ.
those medical terms?
Well, you see, it's when you and he starts to give like a very see, yeah, like that.
Just Kyle quietly wheezing in the background.
Well,
You're allowed to feel how you feel, Kyra. I'm the one who fucking died.
I mean,
And out of everybody in the group, Ophalon's the only one who's directly asked me how I'm doing. And that's when we were at the lake. I'm just trying to get through day by day and not think about it.
well, we've all seen many summers, except for, you know, that one over there. Points towards the big fucking forest dude. I think we all know how to live our life, how to have our grief. We'll get there.
I'm not trying
We'll
to
get
make
there, I
it
think.
you can't express how you're feeling. It's not what I was trying to do. I'm doing what I always do, and that's just trying to find ways that I
Well, let's go find some ruins, why don't we? Amanda starts to
could be fun.
what's
Might be Yeti.
he starts packing up everything and put everything in the cart. We gonna get to some
Let's just
ruins.
keep going.
Gonna find some secret stuff. Gonna get to some. Gonna get to some ruins. Yeah.
Eagerly to read on, like, comes from getting the horses ready and looks like, see, looks at Omenda and then looks over at you and see, look how much the two of you have in common. Both of you have little songs about how excited you are to go into those ruins. You're doing so great.
I'll still sell them.
She also, like, looks around. She says,
Ah, you better give me a cut, you wily little fucker.
a couple of you have shouted quite loudly in the last couple of minutes, and I think we're fine. Be warned, avalanches are things that actually can happen up here. So just we're fine. We're fine for now. Just keep that in mind as we're moving. Because we'll be right up against the base of the.
Inside voices. Inside voices.
Sorry,
I mean, no, you're good. You're good. There's a lot of feelings that need to get. I'm not good with people. I don't usually travel with a group aside from my sister. So I'm gonna lead the cart She gets on her horse.
Juniper hops into the cart and checks on the hobgoblin.
He's so cold. He's just shivering in there.
She
He's like-
wraps one of the spare furs around him and gives him some water.
Is there a reason we're still holding
That's
on
a
to that
prisoner.
guy?
Lady Rhiannon is oh yes, he's going to be interrogated thoroughly.
Yes, Omenda, he's a
Haven't we
prisoner.
been doing that?
He's
Why-
still a person.
Yeah. You know, on my boat, when we had prisoners down in the hold, we used to strip them naked.
He's like in the middle of drinking the water and he chokes. He's like, "Please don't do that. Please, please don't strip me naked."
Fantastic.
No.
Remind me to never get on your boat
I'll,
in the near future, Omenda.
I'll just
Be a part of the crew, not part of the criminals.
Just let me, just I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Just don't take my clothes off.
Sometimes we did it for
It's
fun.
already so cold.
Alluvial, Jesus Christ. Juniper
Alluvial.
switches to Goblin, but just ignore him.
He scares me. You all scare me. The goat man hurt me really bad when he just ran his head into me.
He was
I
trying-
mean, yeah, but you're still alive.
No.
The look of fear on his face.
I'm not gonna hurt you anymore. Like,
he was protecting our group.
The real old, surly frog next to
Yeah.
Ophalon, just like,
we're cool, more or less.
Did Omenda just become Exhibit?
He goes. The hobgoblin like just like. I mean, we're not. Look, I appreciate kind of the severity of my situation. You did kill my brother. He's fully dead.
There was more than a little self-defense in there.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, put the gag back on.
Ophalon, did you forget the part where we ambushed him? Like,
Did ambush him, but they did pull out a
they blew us up with fire
yeah.
for sure, but like we also ambushed them. Like, I just
Yeah.
a little bit of context is important.
Yeah, but active threat to more than just us.
I think that was enough.
Hmm.
Lady Rhiannon's just like, that's all right. There's a nice cell waiting for him, and I'll make sure he gets interrogated nice and good.
Ooh, how old are the chains? What the fuck is wrong with
It's
Omenda
like-
today?
Like
What the fuck is wrong with Omenda?
the gag just gets put back on.
What is it?
Juniper's the one doing that. Juniper asks him what his name is first.
You know, there were some rich folk in some of the towns that I passed through that were a lot like you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
yeah, I
like
used to have-
publicly either. They were very secretive about their chain loving.
I used to have a lot of money.
Juniper, I said in a previous session what this hobgoblin's name was, and for the life of me, I don't remember what I said it was.
Make up a name right now.
Kilgore.
Gorgug.
His name's not Gorgug. Because he had a title. He was like something the something.
Kilgore the fuckmonger.
No, he's not Kilgore the fuckmonger. But for now, let's see. Here's the thing. Hold on. I got it. I'm on it. I can fix it. His name is Razod the Fury.
Oh.
R-A-Z-O-D. Razod.
Oh, cool. I almost spelled that correctly.
I mean, it's a big name. Most people just call me Raz.
That's a fine name, Rex.
Well, Raz, you don't get tasty meat for a ration. Have your raspberry.
He just like gobbles it up.
Juniper literally takes some jerky out of Ophalon's pack and hands him some.
You can just ask.
full. Ha 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 ha. It's a magic raspberry. Fuck you.
I like. He just like looks at you, Juniper, is like, I don't know who you are traveling with, but I think you might be too good for them. Thank you. You can put the gag back on now. I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay.
He's definitely right, but still.
Juniper puts the gag back on.
It's a delicious
Amanda's
raspberry.
probably wanted in
Very
so
good.
many island cities.
He just like slumps against the cart. As you guys prepare to set off for the day, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break because I need water.
Water's good.
Valid.
Be back here, guys. Head back out on your journey. You're now at the point where you're going to have to travel parallel to this rock and ice wall, essentially, until you find a pass through. The path up to Kerouche is supposed to be in the direction that you're headed, at least according to Lady Rhiannon. So you guys are heading that way.
How high is that ice wall?
You're looking at maybe 400 feet.
Oh damn! Oh, is that like up like to like the place above us, or below us?
Well, this is the kind of last hoorah before you start going down the other side of the mountains. You're essentially climbing. You would, if you were to climb without going through like an actual pass, you would be climbing to the peaks of the mountain, and then traveling back down. As a matter of fact, it's actually probably higher than 400 feet. But
would you say it's at all possible that I will be able to, with my froggy self, climb along the walls at a higher altitude? Get a better look?
you could. If you want to climb up there, that's totally fine. You won't be able to travel quite as fast as your companions, but
yeah, because I think because they're all on the cart and doing that kind of stuff. And how fast is that typically moving? Would that be considered?
a cart moves like 40 feet.
Oh yeah, never mind then. Yes, that's like double. Never mind. Never mind.
But you are more than welcome to keep watch, Amanda, if you want to be on top of the cart and just keeping an eye out for things.
Yeah, I'll definitely sit on top of the cart and do a little watch.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
That is a 13.
13. As you guys travel a little ways, now kind of sandwiched between this forested bit and the rock and ice, it starts to get narrower, and the forest begins to go away until you're traveling through more of a ravine than anything else, with rock to either side. It's not super tight in, but it's a little bit more enclosed. And as you all are traveling, Omenda, you see movement, maybe 200-300 feet away and up. Like you see something just It's like something ducks out of the way. That's all you see is just the movement of it.
Oh. How could be? Well, it looks like there's something up ahead, something like 300 so feet. I think they might have seen us. I can't see nothing else. Maybe it was the Yetis.
Is the ice wall a like sheer ice wall, or does it have like smaller like handholds of any kind?
It's got like handholds and stuff. Like it's not a perfect 90-degree angle. It's a rise up. It is still steep, but it's not like a wall. It's a gradual climb up to the peak. But it is still, I mean, it's not a 90-degree angle, but it's maybe like a, I don't know. I don't know angles very well.
60,
It's like
45.
maybe a 75-degree.
Oh,
Like-
that's perfect. Like
It's
goat
obtuse or acute.
nonsense. That's the perfect goat angle. Well, I was getting a little tired of just sitting here, so maybe I'll go check something out. I hear goats are real good at climbing, and I saw one of those last night, so I think I know about how they're shaped. And Ewan just like face plants into the snow berm on the side of this trail, or just the snow to the side. And a goat rises up out of the snow and shakes its head. It has like little black marks on its forehead, reminiscent of Ewan's antlers. Behind the antlers that are already on the goat.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start climbing.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make an athletics check for me with advantage because you're a goat.
Not stupendous, but pretty alright. I got a 14.
14. Yeah. All of you watch as Ewan scrambles up the wall. Makes his way up. How do you want to approach this, Ewan? Do you want to go straight in the direction that Omenda was pointing? Do you want to try to get above it and look down? What is your approach?
I think I would like to get above it and look down, actually. That does sound like a better... I'll kind of like zigzag if I need to do that. I'll let the goat brain take me, guide me.
For sure.
That's a spirit.
Clop your way up there.
As you head on up, you do eventually get up and above, and all of you kind of watch as Ewan in this form actually goes almost out of sight as he climbs higher and higher. Ewan, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think I'm above now, so you start heading over, and I will turn your attention to this the map, or the picture, not the map, the picture that's in the stream. Because Ewan, you are pretty much, let's see. Oops. Can you see my mouse?
No,
No.
can I see your mouse?
Can you see it now?
No.
Rough.
Am I like... are you indicating this like portion at the very bottom that's starting to peak up? Like by those
Yes, I am.
trees? Brad.
Yes, I am. As you climb up and begin to look down, you realize that you have now entered into a place that is carved with intent. And as you go along this little ledge that's in the bottom left there, coming around and eventually peeking down, you see, not at the very center of this space, but closer to that entrance down below, there is a meager campsite, and there are a few people milling about here.
Do I recognize any of the people?
No, you don't.
Okay. What sort of peoples are they? Are they giants? I don't know if I've met a giant yet.
They're not giants. From up here, with that perception check, you see, and they aren't moving around a lot. There is a, somebody that looks like he's probably of a dwarven countenance. You see a big thick beard, short in stature. He is leaned up against a severely damaged cart of his own. There is a somebody that looks like an elf, maybe, or a half elf, quite near to him, who is fully bundled up, like no limbs or anything available. You just can see the pointed ears sticking out from the furs. And the movement that you see is from somebody humanoid in shape, but his back is to you as he is kind of scrambling back in that direction, and you think that could be who Omenda saw moving earlier. But yeah, that's what you see.
Just a few adventurers, kind of, maybe. I mean, we're heading up this way too, right?
You think you are at the entrance of the ruins here.
Oh. I should go back and check in. Can I look down over the cliff and try and estimate how long it'll take my companions to catch up to me?
You think he's gonna fall?
From the direction that they
guy.
have to take up and around,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 25 minutes tops.
You can leave that long.
I'm just a goat. I'm just a goat in the mountains. There's nothing weird about this.
Maybe they're hungry.
I'm gonna strut through the center entryway and sit not in the center, but towards that like rocky outer ring.
Okay.
I'm just a goat. I'm just a goat.
You huddle in. The rest of you, Ewan has gone out of sight. What are you guys doing?
I'm just kind of going up. At that point, he's going to go check it out. If there's anything super important, he'll come back. I'm just leaving him to it.
Okay. You guys
Until we get up.
are gonna trudge on up. Ewan, as you come down here, you get a little closer as the goat and you huddle in. You hear the voice of the individual who's moving around a lot more than the other two. He's saying, Captain, I think there's people coming. Do we want to? And you hear this kind of gruff voice just say, "Piss off! There's no one else up here. That's just fucking stupid." It's like, no, I really did. I saw, and it's like, "Keep
Oh, I
your
think
voice
Travis and
down."
Caitlin are gone.
Oh no.
They're frozen.
You and you're up there and you're listening. You hear this kind of conversation happening. The dwarf appears to be in a foul mood. He's just he's clearly cold and he's bundled up and he's just like, no other people as fucking foolish as us to be up here right now. And the younger, you think probably a human, is just like, no, really, Captain. There's people coming, and I don't know. We need help, right? It's like, if there's people coming over, and just this conversation starts going back and forth. And as it's happening, you see, as a little time goes by, you see your allies in the cart starting to come up and around. All of you see this massive carved, kind of circular rune. There's tall columns. We're talking, 50, 60 feet tall. This just giant space here. And as you're all coming upwards, Ewan, what are you doing? What are the rest of you doing?
Ewan's just sitting on the edge of that central stone ring.
I'm keeping an eye out
Like
for
central stone ring?
Ewan goat.
Yeah, that lower one past them. I'm just gonna walk past.
Oh,
them.
you
I'm
went
gonna
in
go.
there. Okay.
Yeah. Just sitting
I
on that
Where?
edge.
did not get that.
Where?
I thought you were near the entrance. What are you? Omenda, what's up?
I'm keeping an eye out for Ewan, kind of see where he's at. And like, do we hear any of the commotion? Maybe not what they're saying, but do we hear any voices?
I mean, as you
within the
guys are
ring?
coming up around the corner, you definitely hear voices.
Okay.
I'll say that
Can I
since
try
you
to-
communicated that, I'll wait until they're within line of sight, and then do the mysterious animal thing where I turn and walk into the ruins. After I've made eye contact with whoever's driving the cart.
Drax.
All of you see this very familiar goat just kind of, and then turn and walk into the ruins. Who is driving the cart, by the way, Omenda?
Yeah, I'll say I was driving the cart at this point.
Okay.
But I did have a question as well.
Yep.
How high are the? So there's the outer ring, that is like larger, like big old walls or whatever. How high are those?
Like 50, 60 feet.
Oh, okay. So I would like to climb. I'm gonna be like, so somebody man the cart, man the cart. But I'm not gonna yell it. I'm gonna try to climb those, and I'm going to try to sneak into a Overwatch position, kind of in that left hand. Because are we coming up on like the left hand side or the right hand side?
Are you coming from the left-hand side?
Yeah, that like bottom corner of the wall, of the left hand side, like where the inner water is,
Mm-hmm.
or looking like water. If I can kind of sneak to there if I can.
Okay. You want to climb 50 feet up to the top of that?
Yeah, I have climbing speed.
Okay. You head on up. Are you trying to do that stealthily?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check for him. As Omenda abandons the cart for somebody else to drive.
That'll be 25.
Yeah, you head on up. A goat is now in there with them. A frogman is now climbed up to the top to an Overwatch position. And the rest of you
It's my
are-
light crossbow.
coming up into this space. What are you guys doing as you hear these voices just kind of this gruff voice echoing through the space?
Is there any like means of a tunnel or anything that they are face up against, just for double checking? Or is it just entirely enclosed, like you said, as we're walking up?
So as this picture is, they are, if you were coming through these entryway at the bottom, which is where you guys are coming in at,
Right.
they are tucked just off to the right.
Okay.
Just around the corner.
Okay, so they're very close to the entrance. So I'd have a pretty good look on them, I think.
You have an excellent look on them, yes.
I will climb out of the cart and approach from the side. I wonder what the witch is doing now. And I will speak in Dwarvish to the man that is off to the side. Is everything alright?
You see, oops. The, oh, actually. I had more music.
Ooh.
As you come around, you speak in Dwarvish. You see like a start from these three individuals, and whoops, where did it go? There we go. And they all kind of look over to in your direction. You see the person who is quite clearly an elf. Like she reaches out of her furs and like grabs a bow, but doesn't like do anything. She just like hugs it to her. The dwarf, now that you're kind of up here and close, Kyra, make a perception check.
$24.
24. You see this dwarf has like a chunk of his face is missing, like the whole left side of his face, and it's like this rag that wraps on his face. And he's like clutching at his ribs, and he has like a simple hand axe in his hand that he holds up. And then you see a young human, quite young, maybe 18, 19 years old, who is kind of standing there, and he doesn't have any weapons in his hand, but he's got his hands out like between everybody. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa! I know it's all good. It's all good. Hello, Captain. There, just put it down. It'll be fine. And you see the dwarf just like, they're here to take our shit. They're fuckers, is what they are. And you see he's just like branching this thing. What do you do, Kyra?
She looks between them, and I'm just, alrighty. I really don't want any trouble. We're just passing through. Are you guys in need of help?
You see like a look of calm like comes over the young man's face. He's like, we really are. And you hear the dwarf like, shut up. And he's like just shivering, and he's all kind of fucked up. Yes, Ewan.
As this conversation is progressing, can I just clop on up closer to the dwarf?
Uh-huh.
And just start chewing on his cloak.
Get out of here!
Ah,
I'll turn you into Cabrito, boy.
ah.
He just starts like waving an axe at you.
I
It's
try
not.
to bite it.
He's not very like strong with it.
Uh,
You see, yes, Juniper.
so the dwarf is actively like hurt, injured.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's very, very hurt.
Can
Um,
I use the lesser restoration from my circlet to help with that?
hmm, let's see.
I don't know if I can or not.
Don't know.
I don't think so.
You gotta read what lesser restoration does.
It says a disease or a condition.
A disease or a condition would help with a part of what is wrong with him. It's not going to heal his gashes, but you kind of get a look, and in the reason that he's not holding this hand axe very tightly and he's not like swinging it very hard at Goat Ewan, you see the tips of his fingers are blue turning black. And the same seems to hold true for the elf as well, as she's like clutching the bow weakly to herself.
Oh, I think I can help with that. Juniper gestures at their hands, if you'll allow me.
The dwarf and the elf look kind of like wary of it, but you see the young human just like gives a smile and he's yes, please. They've been freezing to death up here, and we can't do anything about it. Anything is helpful. And you hear the dwarfs is like, easy boy, and he just goes, Captain, you're going to die. Shut up. And the dwarf just kind of grumbles, and but he stops waving the axe around and just kind of sits there. You all are allowed to approach.
Juniper starts with dwarf. Is it alright if I touch your shoulder? It'll just be for a minute or two.
Sure. You
She-
make a feeling back in my fingers.
She gently rests her hand on his shoulder, and gold and green sparks kind of start weaving through the circlet's branches and Juniper's hair as she casts Lesser's Restoration.
The lesser restoration seeps through, and you watch as like his circulation begins to improve and his fingertips come back to normal. And he's like, oh, thank the gods. Oh. And he like reaches in and he grabs, he like takes now that he has some dexterity to his hands, he like takes the bandages off his face, and truly like a chunk of his face has been peeled off. Like it's quite bad. You see, it's like a Jonah Hex kind of situation. You see a lot of his teeth and jaw on one side.
Very like Viserys Targaryen.
Yeah, and he's like, it's like you said, this would require some intensive healing. Like even simple things like cure wounds and stuff probably wouldn't do everything that's needed to heal this. But he doesn't seem to be that worried about that. He's taking the bandages off, and he reaches into his pack and he pulls out just a big frozen steak, like a big piece of meat, and just like holds it to his face. He's like, oh, thank the God. Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry I can't do more than
Oh,
help.
it's fine. I can move my fingers again. This is important. Just let this happen.
Oh. Juniper gestures at
Hopefully it's just
the
not-
elf.
The elf, like, kind of looks at you warily, and she nods, and she holds it. You see, the elf, has been affected by this frostbite, much worse. All of her fingers, from the fingernail down to the first knuckle, are black. Like as she reaches out her hands.
I don't know how much this will help, but hopefully this helps. And Juniper casts Lesser Restoration for a second time.
At this point, Aminda, seeing that they're kind of more relaxed, stands, and he'll kind of keep an eye on them. But if he can kind of start walking around a little bit slowly, like looking and seeing if there's anything else of interest while they're talking to these guys, because that's really matter.
Right, what were you looking for?
Just looking around mostly
at
what they're
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check with advantage from your high host, Amanda. You and there's a very fine like leather pouch that's off to just the side of the dwarf. It looks really tasty.
25.
I'm gonna go just pick that up, I think.
25, you said? Amanda?
Yes.
Okay. You look down. It looks like these guys, just from kind of the vantage point you have, these guys have clearly been here for a few days, if not the better part of a week. You see a lot of like empty. Their cart is broken down. You see a little bit further in a dead mule that is just kind of frozen here and ripped open. And then you see a lot of like empty crates and like provision pouches and stuff like that. It looks like they've been trying to stay alive up here, and it has been going not great.
Poorly.
Yeah. Because all of this in here, like on this picture I've showed, this is all ice. It's
okay.
It's not water, so it's all ice. It's quite cold in here. It's actually, now that you've come in here and you're encircled by stone, it's much colder than it's been at any point in this journey so far. You go over and you pick up this pouch. It doesn't seem like there's anything in it. It's just made of very fine leather. But yeah, it's just kind of this pitiful campfire, and Omenda, you are really looking around. They have turned a lot of what they had as like crates and stuff into firewood, and they are running low. Like they're to the point now where they would have to go out and go back down to where the trees are if they wanted any kind of.
So they're basically they're pretty close to dying.
They're very close to death. Yes.
Not even be a lost cause, so to speak. And I see that Juniper's obviously like giving them some form of aid. I see magical enhancements happening off in the distance, probably because I'm some 70 or so visual distance away from them. And is there, because I don't know if there would be any other particular like entryways or like broken in walls or anything like that around here. Is there anything like that?
So with that perception check, like taking a look around, that archway kind of at the very back of this circle area, that seems to be the main way through, and it goes into an icy tunnel, and you can't see very far into that. That there are little alcoves and stuff all throughout this area, but that seems to be the only way through.
Oh, okay.
And it is an archway like tunnel fit for giants to walk through. It is
okay, so it's huge. Okay.
It's huge, yes. I mean, it's as tall as this place is. You're looking at a 50, 60 foot tall doorway, basically.
Okay. Can I, you said there were little itty bitty alcoves and stuff, like literally along the walls. Do any of them look like there would be anything of interest, or is it mainly that large archway? Because if it's that large, just that large archway mostly, I might just start moving towards that and look inside. I won't go very far.
Yeah, the little alcoves and stuff are mostly just like designs in the architecture of the place. Um, they're not really used for anything at this point. The
Okay.
way through is going to be that big archway.
Okay, yeah. I'll kind of move towards that way, kind of see what's within, and like stay within the doorway area.
Okay. Yeah, you head over there. You're looking at it from above and looking down, and it's bitterly cold, and you can see maybe 20, 30 feet down through there. It's ice and rock, and it is a tunnel. And at least from what you can see right now, it is one tunnel. Not to say
Okay.
it won't branch off eventually, but it is one route and one route only.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab like a sizable rock that I could throw, and I'm gonna cantrip light on it, and I'm gonna give it the old toss down the thing. See if I can get a chill.
You light it up and you go to throw it, and you actually feel like somebody, or you don't feel somebody. You hear somebody say, "Wait!" And you see the young human is down there, and he's like waiting to get your attention. He's like, "Don't! There's things in there. There's things. Don't make him come back, please."
What
Things?
The monsters. They took they took Wendell. They took him in there. Oh.
Wendell.
He starts having like a little hyperventilation attack. He's like,
deep breaths in, out.
Breathe, son.
We were attacked a few days back. We were coming over the mountains, and they came out, and they killed poor. I just had a
Wendell.
No, different guy. They killed our scout. They killed our guide. They killed. His name was Boffer, I think. And then the rest of us, we ran up here, but they followed us, and they took Wendell, and they killed our mule, and they took him inside, and we heard him screaming, but they haven't come back out yet. And we've just been out here freezing to death, and please don't make them come back out.
What do they look like?
Oh, they're big and they're hairy, and they've got teeth and claws.
You think that's some Yetis that we was talking? Oh, all right. Yep.
Do you know how many there are?
You see, he kind of starts futzing a bit, and you hear the elf speak for the first time, and she says, by my count, at least 4, if not 5. Not to say there aren't more. That could have just been a hunting party, but...
How bad is that, Lady Rhiannon?
Rhiannon, looks and she says, I mean, that's a pack of Yetis for sure. We would be in a bad place if they ambushed us. I'm not saying that we couldn't take them, but...
I've got an idea. Because I want to take a look in there. I don't want to put y'all in any danger, anything like that. All I ask for is 1 hour.
Hey, offer instead, maybe. You can't see in the dark.
And any light is going to alert them to your...
I can be invisible.
So can I.
We can both go.
Who's better than one, I suppose.
And it would help.
See, Lady Rhiannon, if you all are determined to take the pass through the ruins, I mean, that's it. That's the direction we have to go, and it seems like we're going to have to either get past these Yetis or fight them one way or the other. So, you see the dwarf.
I want to see. Yeah.
first and foremost, what are your guys' names so we can introduce ourselves?
Uh, the young man kind of says, my name is Corin Bright. I'm kind of a I was an apprentice dungeon delver. And now my mentor has been turned into paste. So I don't really
Lindell,
know
I presume.
what I know. Boffer, our guide. I'm his. He was our scout. Um. And then he says, he looks back over to her. You see the elf. She says, and the lesser restoration has worked on the elf as well. At least for the frostbite, you see she has a severely broken leg that she has like put a splint on and can like barely stand. And she says, "I am Elena Windrunner. That man or that one over there, the shit one. That's our captain, Eric Stonesplitter." And you see the dwarf is kind of like has this stake on his face still, and he's like, "Shut up! Hello. Thank you for your help."
That's the least I can do.
You
I
hear,
can try to fix your leg at least a little bit, if you want.
she like, anything, even if even if the bone could just be reset, that would be amazing.
Juniper casts Cure Wound.
You go over to cast Cure Wounds, and Lady Rhiannon like stops you and says, this I can help with a little bit. Go ahead and cast your spell." And as you cast your spell, Juniper, I want you to make a medicine check with advantage.
Ooh. Okay. That's no, just okay. And you said a medicine check with advantage. That is a 14.
14. As you go and you start casting your Cure Wounds spell, you watch as Lady Rhiannon like grabs this elf woman's leg and like kind of adjusts it and crack snaps the bone back into place, and she like has to cover her mouth so as to not just let out a loud scream throughout this area. But as that happens, the Cure Wounds takes effect and begins to do its process. She's like, "Oh, fuck, that hurt. Thank you. Oh." You see the dwarf. He's just like, stop being a pussy about it. And he's just enjoying his steak for the time being. The young Corin Bright, he says, if you all are planning on going that way, if you don't mind, it'd be great if we could maybe come along with you. The runes are quite treacherous, but me and Buffer, we were sort of coming along to help. It's trapped to all bejesus in there. It's real rough.
Well, I can help with that. I mostly wanted to see, at least right now, if we can find out where them Yetis is camping, and if we have to actually go through the Yetis, or if we can avoid the Yetis entirely.
You hear Corin like nods. He says, "That makes sense. Absolutely. I'm not holding out a tremendous amount of hope that Wendell is still alive, but if he is, I would like to not let him be eaten by Yetis."
My manners. I'm Juniper Hawthorne. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. These are my traveling companions, Ophalon, Kyra, Ewan, Omenda and the Lady Rhiannon.
Lady Rhiannon gives a little nod. They see you like point at a goat, and introduce him as Ewan. Meanwhile, the goat is like headbutting Kyra.
You would fucking stop it.
Yeah, he's a dumb one.
Can I? I'm gonna charge him. I'm gonna knock down the frog.
Knock down the frog.
Ah.
Oh, Ewan, why?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Actively a menace.
Actually, we're gonna call this a shove attack. So make an athletics check, and then Omenda, you can make athletics or acrobatics.
I'll do acrobatics.
Space. I respect you for it. The goat rolled well though, 21 for
17 plus 5 for 22.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Omenda, the goat lowers its head and charges at you. How do you get out of the way?
Jump.
So he goes to charge at me, and like all I do is I jump and I like do a little froggy flip over him, and as he goes by me, I just give him a smack on the ass.
I drop my wild shape. I like fall into a puddle of snow, and Ewan stands up out of it. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. We can go right now if you want.
From over in the like group of people, probably Kyra and Juniper, but for sure Kyra, like you see this elf who is like very clearly like a wood elf, like just a sylvan elf, and she like sees what happens, and you see like a look of understanding, and she rolls her eyes a little bit and goes, "Fucking Eladrin."
Wait, what? You know how to fucking deal with that?
He goes, "I don't know how to deal with that. They live in the big city. I just live in Aphanaith."
It's a city.
What do you mean, the big city?
She like says, "Well, there's the Twin Cities. There's Aphanaith, which is where the Sylvan Elves and the Forest Folk live, and then you cross the Golden Bridge into the Wilderland, and that's the Summer Court, and that's where Angus and all of his Summer Eladrin live."
We're new to the island.
Oh, I understand.
I've
Well,
never
Ewan's not,
been
but
to there.
He's new to everything, I think.
Oh,
I'm pretty new to a lot of things, admittedly.
he just kind of adopted us.
We young
I
buck,
just
if
put
you
it
would.
mildly.
right.
You see, I figured he might look good in the circus, so I was going to sell him to a
Omenda,
circus
you're
master.
not selling him.
Maybe
No.
these good gentlemen here could recoup some of their losses from this recoupment by selling him.
I'm gonna
How
whack
about we
you
sell
with
All
my
I
bow.
ask,
How
No
about we
selling
stick you
people.
in a barrel and sell you
all
instead?
I ask is a 15% finder's fee.
No selling people.
Thank
Why
you,
not? I do it
Uncle
all
On.
the time.
Pretty sure selling people is just fully illegal. I think that's
This is why you
Yes,
go to the right
thank you.
places.
um
Trust me, I used to do it all the time.
all
Back on
happened.
my
Anyway, you see Corin, he like and Corin doesn't seem to have been affected nearly as badly by like the frostbite or anything. But
That
he does
cough.
have a cough. Yeah, well, and you can tell it's just from being out in the cold. He's got this kind of dry cough he's going about, but he has the look of a rogue, he has the look of a dungeoneer, and he says, there are traps, there are puzzles, there are all sorts of ways to get through. The ruins of the actual citadel are, at least from what I can understand, are far on the other side. This is like the main gate, and then there's a series of ice tunnels. It's almost like a maze to get through it. But if we can get to the other side, we'll make it to the ruin proper, and it'll be more out in the open. And Oh, there's a route down the mountain, and
Lady Rhiannon, are you familiar with navigating this ruins?
she looks at you. She says, "I no,
Okay.
no.
Didn't you say something about an offering?
I would recommend before we travel through here, we give an offering of some kind to Donatus. Yes, there's no guarantee that it will keep us safe from Yeti, but I mean, maybe from avalanches, which would be great.
What kind of
Any-
offering?
Any particular ingredients?
She says, I mean, Donatus is a solitary god. Um, something pretty standard. And she kind of looks over towards Ewan, and she says, honestly, a goat would probably suffice.
Well,
We've got a solution for that. Hey, why don't you do that one more time?
I mean, we should go hunt one.
That's
I'll
true.
take care of it.
All right.
I will go fucking get a hug. Fuck.
As this is happening, Kyra heads off to go do a hunt, and Corin is standing there, and he seems way more talkative than the other two, who do seem genuinely like grateful for your help. But like now that they have feeling in their fingers again, they're like they're relaxing to the point where they're like dozing. It looks like they haven't gotten great sleep. Probably have some levels of exhaustion. So they're kind of keeping to themselves. But Corin is there. He says, "There's supposed to be all kinds of treasures in this ruin. I mean, it was abandoned so long ago after, well, I mean, some regretful circumstances. But we were supposed to come up here and kind of collect some artifacts to take back, and everything's just gone to shit. So, I appreciate you coming along when you did.
Why don't we set a trap for the Yeti?
See, Rhiannon says, it's not a terrible idea. I mean, there is only one direction that they can come out of from here.
And I'm pretty small, and I could just flick right through any kind of traps we've got.
What kind of trap would we be able to make big enough for 5 or 6 of the damn things?
Well,
Ewan jingles the end of his staff.
Oh, why?
I'm thinking something sharp. Normally, see, I don't have any. I should have got. Well, I might actually.
Well, actually,
Can I actually? The ice that we're standing on, or
Uh-huh.
more so the ice near the entrance, like where it starts to actually become cave there. Is the water underneath running, or is it completely frozen through?
No, it's fully frozen. This isn't like this is all just ice runoff from above that is pooled down here and
Sickles, some sickles.
I've been working on. I think I learned a new spell that might actually help with a trap if it works. I can at least freeze them in place for a little bit.
Well, there's that. We could cut down one of the smaller trees and set up a falling log for them to get killed by.
You see, Lady Rhiannon says, also, well, those of us that are, I mean, we're all fairly fit and could get up there. We could have a height advantage.
I agree. I was up there myself about moments ago.
I could get up high. I don't know how well I'll be. How windy is it in this space with it all enclosed like this?
Enclosed like this, the wind is kind of a non-entity at this point.
Cool. Then I will be able to get up top so that I can get up top so that I can get an aerial view. A lot more helpful from a distance.
Rhiannon nods. It's like, I could do the same. Omenda, Juniper, you two are also fairly competent at range. Ewan, I know you have range, but I think you prefer to be up and about, yeah?
I like to feel the crunch of their bones beneath my fists.
Yes, we all
Right.
remember what you did to the owl.
Right.
And I believe the same is true for you, Ophalon, yes? A bit more of an up-close and personal situation.
Hmm.
I have a question, Kyle.
Sure, after Travis answers the question I just posed to his character.
I apologize. Look, I'm a little tired.
No, I get it. We're gonna be ending soon, so.
One more time.
She said, I believe you prefer to be a bit more up and close as well, Ophalon, yes? So, if anybody has a better plan, I'm willing to hear it, but people with range up on the ring, people that want to get up close and personal, come in as the second wave and finish off anybody that doesn't get taken out in the first bit of, well, and she looks back over at Ewan and looks at the baubles on your staff. It's like, I mean, if you really want to throw one of those, I think that would be a good opportunity.
I do.
I have a wonderful addendum.
Okay.
Why don't Kyra and I make Ophalon and Ewan both invisible?
Ooh.
So that way they can also get the double drop on the
No,
Yetis.
I can be borderline invisible in the dark.
Oh.
I cannot make someone. I can put darkness down, but only I will
I
be
could
able
just-
to see through it.
I can become invisible myself, and I can make a creature invisible, one or the other. So maybe our biggest hitter.
I can put down a 20-foot radius spell. It'll slow their movement if they get caught in it, and it will camouflage itself to look natural. Spikes and thorns.
Probably be a good idea.
But you and Ophalon would need to be cautious of that space.
How are those icicles looking that hang from the ceiling?
Hmm?
How are the icicles looking that hang from the ceiling? You said it was fit for giants, so I imagine it's quite.
Oh, they're
enough
huge, yeah.
To where the Yetis would be.
I mean, they're those kind of icicles that are real big and thick and go from the top all the way down to the ground.
Are there any?
Are they
that
all
are
like that?
hanging?
There are some that are not all the way down to the ground.
Well,
maybe something for the ranged folk to aim for.
out of character, I could destroy a portion of the water to make to have just like sharp icicles that'll fall, and then we could use like. Does somebody have anything that would create a small explosive of some kind or something concussive that would be able to break them?
I mean, I have my bowstring that does force damage.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You also
got a
have
triple
your,
shot bowstring.
You also have your walloping ammunition, Omen.
I did realize that as I was saying it, but I do have limited amounts of those.
Yeah.
I think that sounds pretty good. Fuck the logs.
You know, Omenda, I can make you more of those bolts if you're being so stingy about it. I've been making Kyra her arrows this entire time, do you? None of you... I offered.
I used that to my advantage. I use a lot more arrows than anyone else.
Well,
you see Rhiannon like nod. She says, "All right, well, then I think first priority, deal with Yeti. Second priority, offering to the god of the mountains for safe passage, and then we begin our trek through this place. I guess let's get ready to ambush some Yeti."
I have some ideas on that offering too.
And that's where we're gonna end for today. You guys can...
I'm ready to get into the mix.
Next
Not
session,
right now.
we will prep some a trap and see how you guys fare against some Yeti. So yeah, there's that. We will continue our adventures next time. question is, what do people want to do next week? Next week would normally be a bye week, and it can absolutely still be one. We just want to play stuff.
We have a lot of stuff to do on the 29th, running around.
Okay.
For Evelyn, appointment-wise. So I'm going to leave that up to Travis, because we might be kind of tired that day.
No, that's fair. It was meant to be a bye week anyway, so. I was thinking I might actually get to play Helldivers for the first time in like 5 weeks.
Yeah,
There's new stuff.
it's been a minute.
Because I'm actually trying to keep track of at least some notes. What were the names of the other two? The elven woman and the dwarf?
It is. Her name is Elena Wind Splitter. And the dwarf is Captain. The dwarf is Captain Eric Stone Splitter, but Eric is spelled with an A instead of an E.
Ah.
And then Corin Bright is the young human man.
And you said that he was a bit of a rogue.
He's more of a roguey type, yeah. Like a dungeoneer.
Okay.
He doesn't look in terms like if you're using true adventuring terms, he doesn't look like somebody who's going to be fighting. He looks like I go in and disarm the traps and make sure people can get safely kind of a person.
So Elena has a right. Sorry.
She has a bow. The dwarf, he has a couple of weapons, but his primary one that he seems to have is like a hand axe. But yeah, Corin doesn't even really seem to have a weapon. He's literally here just to do recon. He was an apprentice, and on top of all that, he was an apprentice. The actual scout / dungeoneer was the guy smeared into paste you found the previous day out in the woods.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea to tell him how we found his buddy.
Oh, they know. They came from that direction.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.